Hi, this is Shadi, and today we're going to be looking at Gracie Jujutsu self-defense against weapons. This isn't going to be the classical, pointing the gun in your face or just stabbing in a straight line with a knife. Today is going to be a little bit of more modern attacks with weapons and also unconventional choice of weapons at the same time. So what we're going to be looking at is Rickson Gracie's self-defense unit, and I'll leave a link in the description below. It's going to be mainly a chair, a knife, and a gun, but from scenarios that are more realistic and also different from the very basics that you see with Aikido. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is your gun defense. So here he explains that if there's no distance, it's far away, you have to negotiate yourself into the gun and then attempt to take it away from there, and also explains that a lot of them use it to scare you, and also with the ramifications of the law, not everyone is going to shoot, so you're gonna have to know how to talk and also be very careful. So here, when you are in this predicament, he says that a lot of movements are unintelligent and you're gonna get killed rather easily. So here he says that if you just attempt to grab the gun like this without doing anything else, you're dead. So what he's trying to do is actually stepping to the side away from the gun and then pulling the barrel to point forward. Again, yes, this is still very risky. There's a gun involved. It's not going to be your foolproof plan, but don't just grab it while it's still stuck to your head. And here he says a champagne glass grip. You grab the bottom of the gun where their hand is holding. You keep the barrel away from you, obviously, and then you move your hips to use as leverage to curl the wrist and attempt to disarm the gun. So it's not a static just pull the gun down, but you have to actually get away as you are pulling the gun away from you, because you don't want it stuck to your head as you are doing this motion, because it's very dangerous. So you take it away from you, and then you, with the palm of your hand, you grab the bottom of the gun and curl the wrist. So the next one is your chair defense. This is a very common situation. You can see it in bars, you can see it in restaurants, conference rooms, anything. So this is someone trying to swing a chair. So what I do like about this is that it's foreseeable. You can see it coming from a mile away. A chair, you cannot do it like a jab. You have to actually swing it in order to get the maximum effect. So the idea behind this is to close the distance, very much like your green zones with Henry Gracie, and also lock beneath the elbows. So here he says that you can actually go in for a clinch and any types of hip throw, ogoshi, haraigoshi, hanegoshi, but you don't want them to fall on their chair and it becomes a big mess, and you might also lose your balance yourself. So here it's very important to control the close arm clinch, because the chair strike becomes ineffective, and from there you can sweep, you can do like kosotogake, you can do any type of atemi, but the most effective is your knee strike. So here the attack is blocked, you go to the side, to their blind side preferably, and then attack from their knee or a hip toss. I encourage a hip toss as long as you can maintain your posture and composure. So, but the main idea is to immediately close the distance as you are seeing them going for the chair and blocking on the tricep right above the elbow. So here, if you stay away, it's gonna get you, and you are giving them more space to move that chair and eventually hurt you. So closing in the distance, it's very easy with this type of scenario, in my opinion. So the last one is two knife defense. One is just pointing the knife at your chest, as you are seeing here. This one is easier than the one that's gonna come after. So they're pointing the gun at the knife, at your chest, and they're gripping your neck. So with the forearm, you control the wrist and move the knife away from you, and with the other one, similar to the gun, you grab the bottom of the knife and you attempt a curl as you are getting away, and and use your hips to create more leverage on the wrist. And from there, you actually curl their arm to disarm it and lock their wrist. So it does work, but again, it needs rigorous training. These aren't the types of drills that you can just watch and then go apply them like some tutorial on Judo and BJJ that you can sometimes just, oh, I remember this tutorial, and then go apply it in Randori, and then sometimes it works. No. And the last one is a knife against the throat. Again, this is a very delicate situation. You have to be very careful. You have to train this rigorously. So the first thing you need to do is pull down on the hand and lock it. So this is the same logic that I try to apply when someone is trying to catch me with a okuri erijime or a sliding collar strangle. So whenever I do this and I actually get a hold of their arm that's grabbing my lapel and I put some pressure on it, it gets very, very hard for them to actually slide the collar on my neck and strangle me. And I'd say the same could apply for the knife as well, because they're trying to do the same. Instead of sliding the collar on your neck, they're sliding the knife. I do think that this works, but again, rigorous training, rigorous repetition till it becomes second nature. So here, let's take a look at it up close. He puts it, immediately the hand should go down on the palm and separate yourself from the knife. People watch these self-defense videos, people almost like they're slitting their own throat. No, you have to actually separate it, pull it down, so you remove that sliding motion on your neck. So the knife becomes just sticking there, but without any type of pressure on you or your neck. So the wrist lock here that ends is rather familiar with your Aikido Sankyo, where the fingers are pointing down, or the palm is pointing down, or fist is pointing down, and you can actually rotate their wrist towards them and create a painful pressure on the wrist, and you can cut down, and from there you can take a good position over them. So, but you can do it with a knife, you can do it with a gun, but again, this is knife and weapons and stuff that are incredibly dangerous. There's always a risk, there's always a chance that you can get hurt, but you do the stuff that will increase your chance of survival. When it comes to weapons, you are increasing your chances of survival. They're not foolproof techniques, they're not just false confidence techniques. These techniques that I've shown you, these need to be constantly trained, needs to be rigorously rehearsed and drilled in order to become effective. This isn't your once a week self-defense class or Krav Maga class. I believe Rickson would do this or teach this rather constantly, or the Valente brothers, or anyone who is interested in Jiu-Jitsu self-defense. This isn't, prepare for competition and then maybe, once a month we have a seminar. So this is the stuff that needs to be actually done constantly. So if you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for the patrons only. I post there once a week, and your support would mean greatly. And don't forget to check out Josh Simon's shop in the description below. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.